Yeah, I'm having these conversations with chat, with with Ken Migo. I'm basically saying, I'm really, after I finished inverse functions and I began to understand that the relationship was one where, the inverse range of something would be defined as the range of not the domain of the original. Sorry, not the range. Misspoken. So the inverse range would be the domain of the original, and that would be how it was defined. That it all began clicking into place as far as this one was concerned, and everything, and I began to understand it, and so I managed to get this and everything, and I was struggling really hard to get that one with it earlier, Anyways, I wrote it. I'm realizing that being mad at school is helping me because anger is keeping me motivated, you know? And then it wrote back, that's okay. Sometimes strong feelings can help you work hard. Want to talk about what's making you mad? And so I wrote, sure, because talking about it helps me stew in it, which keeps me disciplined. It doesn't calm me down. It keeps me angry, but being angry is good because it keeps me motivated. So here's a lot of why it pisses me off. They say that the course is 11 weeks, but the school is only open 4 days a week. The reality is that only 2 of those days are in math class, and only only 1 to 2 hours of those days is math class. So from 72 days, we're down to 22, spread out over 77 days, and that is 3.14 rounded off after weeks. To the tutoring department doesn't even open until 10 a.m. It closes promptly at 5, and honestly, between class, I wasn't able to get enough tutoring in to not fail the class. I was applying myself and getting as much help as I possibly could. It moved too brutally fast, and if we failed, there were no review days, none. Didn't go check up what we got wrong, and the first time, it was just on to the next lesson, and like we were on a factory assembly line belt, and then this country wonders why there's a shortage of people with STEM skills. It says, that sounds really tough. It's hard when you want to learn, but there's not enough time or help. You're working hard, and that matters. Do you feel better after talking about it, or want help with want to keep going with math? I wrote back, I don't feel better. I don't want to feel better, though, because if I start to calm down, I know in the past, historically, when it came to getting through huge amounts of content like all of Algebra 2, I tended to do the work only to end up with days I didn't want to do the work, and those compounded quickly until I just wasn't showing up at all. But if I stay fuming, my anger at the injustice of it all will help me keep showing up to class. And then it wrote back, that makes sense. Your anger will help you keep helps is helping you keep going. If it helps you stay strong and keep learning, that's okay. Want to keep working on more math now? Anger is motivation. Anger is an unhealthy emotion, but it can be channeled in healthy directions. You're right. Anger can push you to work hard. Want to use that energy for the next math problem? I wrote, Spite, be my savior. Spite can be strong fuel, ready for more math. And I said, no, I'm satisfied for now. I'll return later. You know, but, well, it's true. I spite the system for this prerequisite being in my way. I spite them for having such crappy and brutally fast math courses. I spite them for all this and everything. I mean, whew. But I am almost through the first unit. You know, and I'm beginning to understand. I didn't come here understanding this stuff. So anyways, I got a 14 terabyte drive. A nice big Western Digital 14 terabyte drive, is now here. One of two. Oof. that I can hook up over USB and move my files over. So that is wonderful. Anyways, so. Whew. Yes, I mean, when I was in school, and when I survived, the bullying, the antagonism, the crap that my peers put me through, all that shit. You know how I pulled through without, eating a bullet, essentially? I felt like if I did that, if I hurt myself, then they won, and I couldn't have that. And that is why you'll never have to worry that I'll hurt myself. It's also why you don't really need to worry about me being angry, because I've lived 40 years at this point almost, and I've had episodes where I've gone through the rigors of destructive anger. I've seen it. I've seen myself destroy property, put holes in walls, kick things, and engage in violence against property rather than people, because for me that was a line I didn't want to cross and everything. And I've seen it. I've seen the wave of destruction that it had caused, and I've been through the rigors of it. I really should have gone to anger management, but eventually I started to learn how to feel anger without causing so much destruction, especially because as I got older, my brain developed. Then everything in my neocortex started to get more sophisticated and everything, and it started to mature. And as it matured, I started to be able to handle the emotion. And also, some of those feelings were not quite as intense as they used to be when I was a teenager. So that combined helped me with anger. Nowadays, I don't get pissed off in the kind of way where the building ends up on fire. I just get pissed off and then go study.